My goodness, look at that. Oh, I say it in a lot of videos. This is why you hike. Like, where else are you going to see that? You got to walk in and do it. Stunning. Stuart here. Scott and I are going to find out how's the hike to Athabasca Pass. We hope. It all depends on what Simon says. Well, if you're watching this video, you know something I don't at this point. Did we make it across Simon Creek? Might be a little early. What's today, September 2nd? September 2nd. Could be a little early, we don't know, but water levels seem low here right now. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll discuss plan B if we get there and can't do things. But today we're going to skip Whirlpool and head straight to Thai camp. And then tomorrow morning get up early because Simon's pretty glacial fed. So we'll get up pretty early and get over there and see if it's possible to cross. Right now, on a super wide trail with about 6K to the first campsite, which is called Whirlpool. Huffing and puffing. I flew in yesterday from sea level. This is Moab Lake. Jenny and I were here last year and went down and had a look at it. And Scott and I are not going to.
Not today.
Not really. It's all right. But yeah, huffing and puffing. Woo! Welcome back to, what are we at? What did we say we were at? 3,600 feet?
3,600 meters. No, it was feet. That was feet.
Like 1,250 meters.
Yeah, that's right.
I flew in from sea level yesterday, so probably take a day to adjust. But look at that, gorgeous day.
Perfect. Not
Man,
loud.
no, about 8 Celsius right now, which is phenomenal. So easy day for us walking these roads. Finally, a little view of the river. We were just talking about water levels. I mean, that's moving. Although on the way in, we did see that it had about another 1.5 feet to it yesterday afternoon, didn't it? You always got to cross stuff early in the morning. We would never attempt to cross that. That's insane.
No way.
No. But, you know, as we head towards Simon Creek, we're like, let's look around for water levels. And that's moving. We're flying this morning. Just over an hour to get in here to Whirlpool. Scott's going to head on in. We're going to Thai, which is only 4.5K. If the trail's still good, we're going to be there in an hour after our little break here. So that would be early for us to stop. That said, you want to cross a creek like Simon just at sunrise. Yeah, this is like a, there's some tent pads down there, over here, and up here is your eating area. Some nice picnic tables. It's one of those what I call Disneyland campsites. It's just so close to the trailhead. They keep really good care of it. It even has the new Jasper bear cabinets. So, yep, so we're gonna take a break here at Whirlpool and keep on moving. Scott and I just left Whirlpool and had a nice break. We didn't take any water because it's a bit murky. But down here, just a little bit further up from the campsite, is a lovely running stream that goes into that murky water, and it's crystal clear. Yeah, see it right up here. So we're going to take our water here and continue up to Thai camp. Now, I haven't seen this part of the trail before, so I'm super excited. If I see anything, I'm going to show you.
2.6.
Thai camp 2.6, Scott says, and this is where I think they tell you if you're a biker to stop. There's obviously the trail used to go that way. There is a reroute here, well marked. And I'll get the sign for you. Yeah, we've done 8.6 in a short amount of time. And Thai camp's only 2.6, and that's where we're heading here now. And then we'll assess our plans. Simon Creek, I'm gonna guess, is about 3.5 from the camp. A little late in the day probably to try to ford that. But a little reconnaissance is never a bad thing. That's a bit of a hike for reconnaissance, but well, the other thing I want to tell you is we're starting to get whiffs of smoke. Just little whiffs of campfire. And we're trying to figure out where the burns are because there hasn't been much going on really in the vicinity. I mean, wind can carry it a long way, of course, but All right, about 2.5 to tie. Well, we were just talking this. The trail has certainly changed. And it's interesting because this single track's actually starting to grow in. That takes a long time typically. Also an indication to us that probably because of Simon Creek, very little traffic back here. So we're not obviously running on a road like we were earlier, but still the trail's pretty good. Just dealing with some deadfall, like well, like that up there. I expect we'll see lots of that if we get across Simon, because nobody's been up for a long time. Forest a little bit toward the river, although the river's far away. We are here at Tie Camp. There's the bear pole. Bring your own rope. Right there. Simon Creek is 4K. I put it around 3.5, but it could be 4. And we're in here early, and boy, that's when you start to thinking. And we know we got to cross that when the water's low, but this camp seems pretty dry, Scott.
I don't hear any water.
Where's the water? Oh, there's a little creek down there.
Okay.
We can
half of the water too.
Yeah. So we're gonna take our packs off here and hydrate and plot our next moves. Well, Privy's back there. And quite frankly, you could set your tent up here. Nice spot there. Really nice spot over there. You camp anywhere here. Not a bad place, but it's early, and well, I said to Scott, I said that's when you start to get ideas. All right.
Well, coming in early gives you lots of options.
Lots of options. So we're going to assess those and have some water. Scott and I have decided we're going to walk another 3.5 to 4K and look at Simon Creek. And we're going to keep our backpacks on, just in case it's something we can do. There's 2 trails here though. This goes back to the Privy, which I'm going to show you. There's another trail. I use the BRMB Canada maps on my Gaia GPS, and I think it's taking us down to the river flats for the horse trail. There's a flag up here I'm going to show you. This might be the hiker trail. Garmin is pointing me this way. There it is, a broken pole in a hole. If you're looking for a poop, there it is. It's been used this year. People putting moss in there to cover up, which is nice intention. Unfortunately, it fills the hole. Yeah, see that there? I'm thinking we're going this way, maybe.
I think they're promising that that's the trail.
Yeah, well, it certainly is a track, for sure. So I think we figured out that the horses go down out into the mucky sun, and we're up here on what's now a very ill-used trail, or little-used trail. So our thought process is this. We're gonna walk up and see what Simon says this afternoon. If it's a raging torrent at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, probably not gonna come down for us by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning or 7 o'clock. And then we'll come back, stay at Tie Camp, and we'll have to go find something else to do, somewhere else to hike. If it's marginal now, we're probably not gonna cross it, but we know that then in the morning, we'll have an opportunity to cross it early. So we want to see. Scott said, let's go look at it. I'm like, all right. I'll show you what we see. Let's go see what Simon says. Look where we're hiking through now.
I think the trail, you know, I think the trail goes over this stuff. That's probably why we're going around.
Is he rerouting us?
Yeah, it looks like the footbed in there.
Yeah, somebody's been flagging us, and we're gonna do this for a little bit and then see. Right? Like really. We'll do this for a little bit and then see what happens.
But look, there's like 6 or 7 trees down. I think
And that's, well, there's your footbed there.
I think that's
well,
it.
let's have a look at that. Maybe we can, you and I are both tall, maybe we can do that.
They're routing us around there.
All right.
You want to look at it?
Yeah, stay tuned. With some bushwhacking and craziness, and we lost the trail, but now we found it. This is definitely the trail. So when we turn around and go back, whenever that is, we're gonna follow that and not those weird flags, because they weren't helpful at all. Oh boy. All right, onward.
Nice breeze.
This is a gorgeous spot, but we're looking at the haze. That's smoke. And we're heading that way, hopefully. Maybe. All right. This is a good trail now.
suppose this gap that we're seeing here must be where Simon Creek comes in.
Yep, okay, well, that's our baby. Simon's the key. Hang on, look at this. Well now.
Oh, it's a cabin.
You think that's the ruins we've been told to look for?
Maybe. I think there's some kind of metalwork.
Auto Brothers? Auto Brothers? Is that it?
Kind of cogs and things that I saw a picture of.
I'll flash that up on the screen. I don't know what this was.
Cool.
Look at that.
It's always fun to see something like that.
Yeah. Days gone by.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be staying here.
Oh yeah. Well, we are looking around, right? I mean. Yeah. All right. Back. Oh, there it is.
I remember seeing.
There it is. Yeah.
Saw blade.
Boy, we could use that on this trail.
Boy, how about it? Hey, you forgot your tent pegs.
Forgot. Geez, they'd work, wouldn't they? Holy
I don't think they
mackerel.
ever come out.
No. Look at that. Well, a little bit of history. This is a very historic trail. Just check my Gaia. We're about 1 kilometer from Simon Creek. Making good time. I mean, the trail's in decent shape, actually. But there's a roar up ahead, and you know, sometimes you confuse wind with, you know, raging rivers. But if it's not the wind, well, I think you know what that means. So the idea here again is to assess water levels at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If it's marginal, we know there'll be a big drop overnight, and maybe we can get across in the morning. If it's raging, then probably not. Maybe we're just a few weeks too early. Or as my pal Brian Patton says, wait till late September, if at all. So, maybe sage advice. But you know what? We're all gonna know in just a few minutes. Well, it's awful. Now it is afternoon and it will lighten up in the morning, but I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't going to lighten up enough. Wowie, wowie, wow. Well, I don't know. There's the old bridge. Just have a look here for you. You're looking to do Athabasca Pass. I mean, I'm even looking down there where it gets a little narrower, but it speeds up. Shorter crossing. This looks like it would have been a bridge they would also use for the horses. It's so big and wide. That says something right there. You know, they always put bridges at the narrowest point, right? Horses would travel somewhere else a little wider and a little clearer. But this is, I know it's September 2nd, and I know they say late September, but you know what? You never know. You never know. But I don't see a possibility of that. I'd like to see my kids and Jenny and my parents. All right, we're gonna ponder life. I'll update you. Log, a very large log across, and look at this. Folks have been walking. Folks have been walking up here. Oh, where is it? I thought it was all the way across. Maybe not. But look, people have been walking up here, that's for sure. There's a pretty good trail here. No, maybe not. Yeah, no. That was an optical illusion. I thought I saw one going all the way across. It must be across that little braid over there, maybe. Yeah. All right, well. Yeah. Simon says no. Thanks, Simon. Well, we're heading back to Thai Camp, which was a lovely little campsite, but kind of dry. So we found a really good water source about, what, maybe 2 kilometers from where we are now. We're going to tank up on water there for the night in the morning. And then I'll fill you in on everything in camp once we're set up, show you around, but you know, it is early afternoon. Yes, water levels definitely drop overnight and into the early morning hours. But looking at that particular place, Scott made a super point. If you look upriver, it's dropping big time. Like, it's not a gentle downhill. It's coming downhill, which of course creates the speed. And I don't think in the morning even it's going to be, at this time of year, is going to be passable. So we'll head back. I'll explain our plans after we get to camp, but I'll head back to the trail office and let them know. They wanted to hear what Simon Creek was like. We'll let them know. Backtrack to Thai Camp, an old bridge. You just saw an old bridge, the remnants of it at, hang on a sec here, come with me as I use the trekking pole. There we are. Yeah, so we're gonna skip across this instead of the muddy sections. My advice to you, if you do this, walk over where they put the logs, don't walk there. Walk on the sides where you see nails. And you probably I say, get through. From a golden era. Oh, yep, there's the trekking pole cam. Well, it's better than picking through the mud.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Scott just said something I say a lot. Turn around and walk the same trail. Look what you see. This is gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Beautiful. I'm going to show you up here where this trail goes to get you into Thai Camp from this direction if you are ever out here exploring the lovely Simon Creek. Because we got all turned around. Somebody put some of those fluorescent flaggings near the pole in the whole lavatory, and we followed it, and it took us into nothing. Somebody came through the nothing. We probably followed a game trail or something, and we came out on this rock, and I looked up and I was like, where are we? Scott looked down and there was the track. So we get up there, I'm going to show you if it's obvious. All right, this is about where we joined up with this trail after we hit this big rock area. So let's see what we did incorrectly or where this leads us. We're going down.
Right down to the water.
Are we? Well, that ain't gonna work. All right, stick with me for a minute here. Sometimes these get washed out, right? Saw a lot of that in the south boundary for sure. I think it keeps going. It might just skirt the water.
It might, but this is pretty telling.
Yeah, so here's another mark.
Yeah.
This is where this guy started rerouting people, whoever it was.
It probably got washed out.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I'm gonna go look just for the heck of it.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Only if you can get through.
everyone was expecting a 2-hour video. I gotta show something.
You gotta explore a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say, really. Hard to say. Well, let's go bushwhack. We have so much energy at the end of this hot day.
If you had a pack raft here, you could just float into camp.
You literally could. It's so calm here. All right, well, here we go. Good luck. Well, we basically walked straight uphill, and I don't know what the person with the flagging was thinking, but there's no trail. We're just basically bushwhacking through this rather horrific area looking for these markers. So we do, I mean, we appreciate it, obviously, but it's wicked and not something enjoyable at the end of the day. Oh well, we'll be to Thai Camp here shortly. We know where we're going. I've got it marked on Gaia. Oh, this actually looks a little more well-worn than the way we went.
Maybe you're right. I see the flag ahead.
But where's everybody going? Because you can't get across Simon Creek. Well, all those flags did get us back to the trail.
They did.
You know, I wonder why somebody flagged that, like you can't go anywhere unless, I'm optimistic, someone's surveying for a new bridge. But Scott tells me he was in an online chat with the park and the superintendent, and the answer was no. So one word answer too, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
No, don't ask again.
Exactly. There's a National Historic Site at the top of that pass. And there's a group in BC restoring the trail on the other side that the fur traders used. And the superintendent of this park says, no, not putting another bridge up. Kind of does baffle the mind. Just a little. Oh boy, we're back to camp. There's your pole in the hole. And I've told Scott, he's been such a great host to me since I arrived in Alberta. He's got first dibs on the best camp spot to pitch his tent. Ty Camp, home for the night. When we're set up, I'll show you around, and I'm going to take you through, well, what happened with our chance to go up to Athabasca Pass. Long day, eh? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Woo. Well, quick little shot around camp. Scott is set up over there. He's got a really awesome tent. He's having a rest. Maybe I'll show you another time. I've put my duplex over here. Why? Well, I'm kind of on the trail. Excuse me. By the way, there's the eating area. So why am I over there? Well, here's a good looking spot, isn't there? Dead tree, dead tree, dead tree. And they're leaning. I mean, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to try to get this on video for you. But even look up at that tree. Look at, it's bent. You know, it's alive at the bottom, but dead at the top. That's going to fall at some point. There's the dead tree. And then over here, the pièce de résistance. Several trees leaning this way. Well, I was thinking of going there, but listen, nothing's going to much happen tonight, I don't think. There's not enough wind, but you know, why bother? So I picked out here, decently flat spot. Bear hangs over there. I use an ursack. Scott's going to hang his food. Down there's our water source, and it's, well, it's rock flowery and kind of, well, coggy, filtery. So what we did was at the 2 kilometer mark, there's actually a place where we had some very clean water. We hit it on the way up to Simon Creek, and then we hit it on the way back, and I filled up a 3-liter container for my Hydro Pack and my Katahdin Bee-Free, and I'll be set for tonight and tomorrow. So there's a little tour of Ty Camp. Really like it here, except for the dead trees. At some point they're going to come down, and I hope nobody's here when that happens. This campsite could use the kind of maintenance that Whirlpool gets, because it's really not that much further up the trail, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, next clip will be me talking about that and about you know, our thought process with Simon Creek. Simon said no. No surprise. For some supper, just I alluded to it already in the video. I'm not going to belabor it. We knew Simon Creek was going to be one of those things that's probably not going to happen. We thought maybe if we get up there and it was marginal, maybe. There hasn't been a lot of rain this year, but as we know, it's glacial fed, so it's the heat, right? I think it was 32 today in Jasper, and of course the sun starts this way and swings this way, and of course the whole day it's shining on the glaciers that feed Simon Creek. And I think back, as I think I mentioned earlier, to Brian Patton's update on his Canadian Rockies Trail Guide website, where he says wait till late September, if at all, to try to get across Simon Creek. And we can now see why. It's sad for me though that there's a National Historic marker, a National Historic place that we as Canadians should, I think, even legally have access to, and the current park superintendent flatly said, no, we're not going to put a bridge across Simon Creek anymore. I wonder if that's even legal, to deny us access to a National Historic marker. I mean, it's a bridge. It's a bridge. It's one bridge. We're not asking you to come in with chainsaws and crews and clear it all out. It's one bridge to access a very important historical marker for this country and how it was, well, basically how it was built by the Hudson's Bay Company and the fur trade. I mean, everybody talks about how the railroad built Canada. Yes, it did. But so did the Hudson's Bay Company and so did the fur trade. And this is an exceptionally historic route. And there's a group in BC restoring that section of the trail. Now what? We can't hike the whole trail anymore. So maybe we can come in from that side and see some of these historic places. But it really baffles the mind. But we're not frustrated. We knew the chances of getting across Simon were slim. But I've always wanted to see it. And, well, we did. So it was a long day. It was like 18.5 kilometers back, you know, up and back to Ty Camp. So tomorrow the plan is we're just going to you know, head back to the car. The trail office said, listen, if you can't get across, come on in. We'll cancel the reservation for you and we'll try to find you something else. Of course, it's Labor Day weekend, so we'll take what we can find. And it may not be something remote and historic and iconic like this, one of those big trips we like to do here. But, I'm here. I want to do some more hiking, and Scott's an awesome guy, and we're having a great time. We joking around and even walking basically the same pace, which is really cool. So anyway, that's the idea. No, listen, I know that the chances of getting across Simon were pretty slim. But what if we could? Right? What if we could? There's been nobody back there hardly at all for years. Oh, would have been exciting. Well, we'll see what happens in the future with that National Historic Marker and the denial of access to Canadians to see that. Maybe that's a way we can convince them to build one bridge. So anyway, tomorrow we're going to have a little supper. We'll close it off here in a minute. Tomorrow we're going to head up and go back to Scott's truck. We're going to head into probably Jasper, see what they've got for us. And we'll do another video, and I'll get to see another part of the park. So anyway, just wanted to go through that with you because we're not crazy. We really understood the chances were slim. And as you saw today, yeah, that's insane. that's insane. So, all right, supper time. Well, we didn't get to the committee punch bowl for a toast to the chairman, but it feels like what do you think? We should?
I think we should toast to ourselves.
Well, you go first.
All right. To Stuart.
Oh.
Welcome to Alberta.
Thank you. Good
again.
To be back. Yeah.
Great having our first hike with you.
Thank you.
And we're enjoying our bourbon.
We are.
Toast.
Toast. Thank you so much. And to Scott, who picked me up at the airport and offered to put me up and had never met me before.
Only on video.
Risky.
Well, my family did think you couldn't be a mass murderer or something.
Hey, the night's young. And now we're having a bourbon. Well, to the chairman.
All right.
We're not there, but why not?
Why
to the
not?
chairman.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say is I never do this on the trail. It's a beautiful treat. And he carried it all day in a little flask.
That's right.
Yeah. We do the same thing. We didn't know it. So when you're out on a long trip and it's the first night, I take the heaviest thing I brought for supper, and you do the same thing.
Absolutely.
So I went through mine and I found one. I found a Pasta Primavera from Backpacker's Pantry. I usually have the Mountain House one, and it was heavy. What's your heavy one tonight? Or are you having this one?
I don't think I can eat it because there's too many calories, but this is probably it.
Okay.
Butternut Dal Bhat.
Peak to refuel. When you do open that and have it on our next hike, I'd like to try that because I've seen this everywhere, and it's risky to try something new when you're on the trail.
Yeah.
So.
I usually add one or maybe two each time. Just
try new things.
Oh, and we had a real crash on my last trip.
Oh?
Oh, Irish shepherd's pie.
From who? Do you remember?
It was that same ones who make the Kathmandu curry in a little package.
Oh,
boy, was it bad.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was bad. You kind of wonder how to assemble a shepherd's pie into a
bag.
envelope.
Yeah. Well, when I was out with Jenny on the last hike, which I already put out before this one, because we do them in order, I think it was Backpacker's Pantry, potatoes with gravy and beef. I could have glued things together with this. It was just not for me. So they're hit and miss, right?
There's one, this Forever Young mac and cheese, that's really good. And I think it's
Alpenair.
I
think it's Alpenair.
I think it's in this brand.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and that was quite good.
Yeah.
We had that one last trip too, and it was real good.
This is what you do when you don't get where you want to go. Sit around and have a bourbon and toast the chairman.
We do have a fair amount of time.
We do. Anyway, it was almost a 19-kilometer day with everything we did, and as I mentioned earlier, we're just going to hike out tomorrow, head to the trail office, cancel this reservation because they said we could, and they're going to try to hook us up. So I guess we'll toast again, and we'll see you in the morning.
There you go.
Well, I know we signed off for the night, but Scott and I came down here to look through the meadow. My goodness, look at that. Oh, I say it in a lot of videos. This is why you hike. Like, where else are you going to see that? You got to walk in and do it. Stunning. I'm just going to pan around here. Look down the valley. You just come out to see if we could see anything, animals or, anything. And we did. We saw that. And it's going to, what'd you say, going to set right over Athabasca Pass?
Yeah, well, it's setting in that direction.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe someday.
If we wake up and the moon will have already set,
Yeah.
probably be able to see some nice stars.
Oh,
It's
for sure.
totally clear out
Yeah,
there.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's say goodnight again. We'll see you in the morning, but God, enjoy that. Look at that. Wow. Morning, day 2 of the Simon Creek expedition. Well, we're laughing now. We're heading back to the car, back out a little bit of woods walking, and then it's all fire road, past Whirlpool, and back to the car. Then we're going to go to Jasper and see what we can do for the next 4 days. Yeah, not sure what's going to happen. We have no idea where we're going to be tonight. So that'll be another video, but we'll finish this one off. A little shot around camp. We were up early. Scott's just finishing packing up. I'm just waiting here to take my puffy jacket off when it's time to go, and then we're going to head that way in just a bit. Well, we're underway. A couple of kilometers of this single track, and then we're back on the old fire road. It's all pretty easy walking to the car. If our pace yesterday is any indication, we should make some really quick work of this morning. And we're out early. The sun's not even over the mountain here yet. Nice cool morning. So if I see anything, I'll show you. Decide you want to go to Thai camp, grab water here. This is about 1.7 kilometers away from the camp. This is beautiful, clear water. The water at the camp is not good at all. So stop here, tank up, and take your clean water into camp. 1.7K from the campsite. 2.43 kilometers, according to Gaia, and we're back to the fire road. We're kind of wondering, that must go down the river. Maybe that was an old horse route. But now we're back on the road, and this is easy pickings at this point. Speaking of water, we just dropped our stuff up at Whirlpool campsite, and the water there for me is a bit, I don't know, it's silty at the bottom and you get stuff dirty. So if you're staying at Whirlpool, just walk up the trail like 50 meters, and this is a beautiful, clear, running water stream that won't clog your filter. Out there can be just a little, well, first of all, it's hard to get to from the campsite. You could be down a steep bank, and also it's just a little bit, it can clog you up. So we're going to tank up here and head to the car.
You seem like you're such sitting ducks.
They are dumb
You
birds.
just had a net. You just catch what you put.
She's
it
a
over
biggie.
on.
She's a biggie. She's going to take off here in a sec.
Yeah.
There she goes. Big wildlife sighting of the day. Oh, don't go anywhere. Well, the sun's out and it's hazy and smoky. And we've just done this big climb we forgot about. It's like been pretty steady uphill for, feels like a kilometer. A few hundred more meters to go before we peak out and then head back down toward the car. But, oof. And yeah, are we ever smelling smoke? It's pretty hazy as you look up. And we're just trying to debate about which direction it's coming from. There's a couple fires out here, but I mean, they're not big. So kind of weird and kind of hard to breathe a little bit. So we're not far from the car, and we'll wrap it up when we get there. Well, typically at this point, I would ask, how's the hike? But well, it seems like we were just here yesterday.
Just yesterday. I can't believe that.
Yeah, as I scan up, there it is, National Historic Site of Canada. And we don't have access because of a bridge that's been out for a long time. So a little, we're not disappointed. We knew what we were getting into. So enjoy being out here with you, and
Yeah, me too,
we'll have to
Stuart.
do something new.
Yeah.
But anyway, what'd you think?
You know, it's always good to be out.
He keeps saying that. I think he's right. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about what we saw, I mean, I can't imagine you would, but if you do, post them in the comment section below. And we're off to find another hike. Thanks for watching.